What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Torino Career Mode. This is episode number 74, and we start today's episode off by seeing that Lazaro is returning from injury. Also, Angelo Lolo accepted his contract, and we got almost £6 million for progressing to the Champions League final. Of course, in the last episode, we knocked out Juventus and reached our first ever Champions League final with Torino, where we'll be taking on Manchester United at the end of the season. So excited for that, and hopefully going to get revenge on them after what happened last season. Here's a look at Lolo's stats: an academy player coming into the first team, but also Luca De Col terminated his contract. That's another academy player we had, but I never got a warning about that. You know, usually the chief executive or the board, I'm not sure who it is actually, comes to you and says that a player wants to terminate his contract. You know, you have to sort of offer him a pro one, or he'll just terminate it, or sometimes they'll stay. I never got told about that guy. I got told about another Brazilian player in our academy, and of course Lolo, who we just gave a contract to, but I never got told that guy wanted to terminate his contract. So he just decided to leave the club without warning, which I thought was kind of annoying. But either way, it's not a big deal. Next season will most likely be our final one with Torino, so it wouldn't be a huge blow for us anyway, even if he was going to be a really good player for the future. But either way, still a bit of a shame to see a player terminate his contract without me even getting told about it. Still, we take on Palermo for the first two games in today's episode here, and depending on other results coming into this game, if we won the game, we could potentially be crowned champions after the end of 90 minutes. But we almost got off to a disastrous start. Burnley made a good save, and then Mykonok put the ball wide of the post from just a few yards out. He's caused me troubles before during this series a couple of times, but that was a really bad miss, and it was still 0-0. And then in the 28th minute, Poloski gets on the ball here after Florenzi plays him through. Great chance to make it 1-0, but the Punisher hits the ball into the side netting, and it goes behind for a goal kick. So still goalless, but just past half an hour mark, yet another good chance for Palermo. As you can see with the team I put out there were 10 changes due to how many fitness problems we had after the game in midweek against Juventus, and once again they missed an absolute sitter. Mykonok's strike was well saved by Burnley, and Lazar's rebound goes over the bar. So Palermo, they were playing much better in the first half. They were dominating possession, they were getting chance after chance, but they just couldn't hit the target at the crucial moments. Still goalless in this game. And the worst miss came here in the 60th minute. Belotti plays through Mykonok one-on-one with Burnley, and that is an absolute atrocious miss from Mykonok. An awful miss, and it is still goalless. How on earth he got that so wrong, I do not know. But in the 73rd minute, Benassi plays a great through ball towards Zardes. What a great ball that is, inside towards the American, who strikes it first time, doesn't take a touch, and finds the back of the net as well. And after all the chances Palermo had to grab the opening goal of the game, it was still 0-0, and then Zardes takes one of the rare chances we got to make it 1-0 to Torino. So, you know, of course, we're a few points ahead of Roma and Juventus right now. The likelihood of us losing our place at the top of the table is going to be very slim. But either way, the amount of chances Palermo had in that game and the amount of chances they wasted, and not like, you know, half chances, clear-cut opportunities, one-on-one attempts, which are going off target, was absolutely crazy. And we did win the game by a goal to nil thanks to Zardes' late strike. So we got possession way back in our favour in the second half, but only 3 shots and 1 on target compared to Palermo's 8 shots, but only 2 on target. And that was the telling sign. Burnley made a couple of good saves, yes, but their attempts kept on going off target, and they were really poor in front of goal. Still, we got the win, and following that, we saw another academy player terminates his contract. That's 2 in a few days. That Brazilian player I mentioned a minute ago, Jorge Morelos, decided to leave the club, which is fine. He didn't look too good anyway, and there you go. And we've also entered May now, so here's a look at the academy players with the May boost given to them. A couple of players look good. Camiliano and Mara Antonio look pretty decent as young players there. We'll probably promote them in the next episode or so, and they look pretty decent for the future, and there you go. Of course, I said before, you know, next season is most likely going to be our last one, so it's highly unlikely that we're really going to be too fussed about playing those players and giving them too much exposure to the first team in order to maximise their potential, because they won't grow to a decent enough level to be used in the first team week in, week out. Still, here's a look at the squad report. You can see how the players are currently doing in the penultimate squad report of the season. As I always say, you know, growth problems, yeah, very frustrating indeed, but a few players are looking pretty nice, I have to say. Shalanolu's up to an 85 this year, and as you'll see, Sergio Aguero is now a 91 overall rated striker. How nice is that to see after signing him for £45 million in January? I was thinking, is he going to be the right replacement for Dybala? Is he going to work out for us? Well, he's been banging in the goals left, right and centre, and he's grown 2 ratings, so absolutely awesome signing that was. As you can see by league table, 3 games to go. We are 8 points clear of Roma, so they need to win their remaining 3 games and hope we lose all 3. So the likelihood of us not finishing top of the table is very slim now with a few games to go. That's the full league table though, and as for the standings, you can see the TIM Cup, we are into the final against Genoa. That will be in a couple episodes time. and also in the Champions League final in 3 episodes' time, we'll be taking on Manchester United. Following that, we saw that Charities wants a new contract, which he'll probably get because he's one of the very few players that's been progressing really nicely, so he probably deserves one. And also, prior to the game against Napoli, the second and final one of today's episode here, we were told that Torino had secured the Serie A title because Roma played a day earlier and they could only manage a 1-1 draw with Parma. So coming into this game against Napoli, I was thinking this could be the game that clinches us the title, and then I found out that we've already won the title. So we've already been crowned champions coming into this game, and I'm absolutely delighted about that because this season, our main aim was to, really make sure we solidify the title again, won it for a second year running, and also won another competition. We've done that with the Supercoppa. Yes, okay, it's not a big competition, but either way, we still won it, and of course we won the Serie A as well, 3 games to spare, which is really nice indeed. Won it earlier than last season too. Always a good improvement of a sign of progression when you're able to win it earlier than the season before. And I'm really delighted about that because we still got the Champions League final and we still got the TIM Cup, and of course I'm absolutely desperate to win them both. Winning the Champions League final would be huge. Winning the TIM Cup would be great as well. But either way, to win the Serie A title, it's still a successful season in my opinion, especially when you consider this is only our 3rd season into this career mode. So I've already won 2 Serie A titles and a Supercoppa as well. Gotta be pleased with what we're doing right now. Still, we take on Napoli for the second and final game of today's episode here. So this game effectively not meaning too much. Of course, we can't finish unbeaten. We've already been beaten before this season by Milan away from home at the San Siro. So this game not meaning too much in terms of points or anything. No, we've already secured the title, but still always wanted to win it. See if the players are good enough to start in the TIM Cup final and the Champions League final as well. But the first chance and the first goal would be scored by Napoli. Mertens was played forward and the Belgian kept his composure to put it past Bernie and opened the scoring for the home side. So 1-0 to Napoli, but in the 35th minute, after a couple of corners, Hakan Çalhanoğlu crosses the ball in, picks out Manolo Gabbiadini, and the former Napoli player heads it past the goalkeeper and makes it Napoli 1, Torino 1. So goalkeeper getting caught in no man's land there. Çalhanoğlu picking up another assist. This season, he started off really brightly in the first half, tailed away a little bit in the second half, not banging him in from long range anymore, but either way, still getting a helpful handful of assists every now and then, and there was another one there as Gabbiadini puts us on level terms. So 1-1, 5 minutes before the half-time break, El Kaddouri finds his teammate who shoots the ball just over the bar, but behind for a goal kick. So still 1-1, but in the 44th minute, a great chance for us to get ourselves in front for the first time. Alexandro finds Clement Grenier. Our French midfielder keeps hold of the ball, plays a brilliant ball over the top towards Sergio Aguero, who drills in across. There's Gabbiadini to get his second goal of the game and making Napoli 1, Torino 2. So another goal for Gabbiadini there, putting it past the goalkeeper and making it 2-1 to the away side. So even with points, basically irrelevant now because we know we're going to finish top of the table. We've already been crowned champions. It's still nice to try and get the wins anyway, obviously. And Gabbiadini was playing really well in this game, and he's put us in front there to make it 2-1 to Torino. So Napoli 1, Torino 2. 3 minutes after the restart, there was a great chance for Napoli to get themselves back on level terms, and they would as well. A really awesome finish. He was played forward, the shot comes in, and unfortunately for us, Vargas does make it 2-2. Relatively poor defending, yes, because I dragged the centre-back out of position, but either way, it was a really good finish by Vargas, and you certainly can't blame Bernie for that one. So Vargas makes it 2-2. 4 minutes later, another good chance for Napoli, a good chance to get themselves back in front. Gulam goes down the left-hand side and drills across towards Vargas, who scored their second goal. He crosses to the far post, and Masaccio almost scores a comical goal, but thankfully for us, Bernie claws it off the line and keeps it at 2-2. And just approaching the hour mark here, a good chance for us to take the lead again. Immobile gets tackled, but it comes to Grenier. Down the left-hand side here, taking on Raul Albiol, beats the Spanish centre-back, gets himself inside here. Real quick little heel-to-heel flick and shoot, but it goes harmlessly over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So still Napoli 2, Torino 2. And from the goal kick here, as you can see, the Napoli goalkeeper launches the ball long eventually towards the halfway line. Mertens and Motta both go for the header and both end up missing it. And it comes to Masaccio. Our centre-back finds Danilo. We work our way forward here with Lorenzo Motta poking it through towards Gabbiadini on a hat-trick. Great ball through towards Sergio Aguero. Tries to take it around the goalkeeper, succeeds in doing so, but what about that for a block by Enrique? Continues running, doesn't stop, and just thinks that Aguero's going to tap it into the open goal, gets back to the goal line and clears it off the line and behind for a corner. So still Napoli 2, Torino 2. Luis Adriano went pretty close there, 13 minutes before the end of the game, but it was still level in this game. But we did have a great chance to win it late on, 2 minutes before the end. Gabbiadini having a stormer, plays the ball through towards Immobile, but the less said about that finish, the better. Not entirely sure how I got that one so wrong, but it went way off target and behind for a goal kick. But it was how the game would finish, Napoli 2, Torino 2. So, of course, we knew we were already crowned champions before the game kicked off. But either way, still good to get ourselves a point in that game. And, of course, we still only lost once in the entire Serie A season. If that does turn out to be the case come the end of the season, we only lose one game. That would be really, really pleasing. But regardless, we won the title, delighted with that. It was more a case of when rather than if as the weeks went by, but either way, still glad to know we've done it, and I'm really, really pleased with that. But that does end the episode, guys, so as always, big thank you for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Torino Career Mode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Torino Career Mode very soon.